Yo, what's going on, guys? And of course, we have to do the Detroit Pistons off-season preview now that they got Monty Williams. Now, let me explain Monty Williams' coaching philosophy. He's an offensive guru. He's not as bad as a defensive coach as people say, okay? His squads were defensively limited. I'm not going to sit here and say he's like an M.A. Udoka defensive coach, but he's not as bad as people make him out to be. Monty Williams is going to put in this offense that's going to teach people how to shoot high percentage shots, so it'll be efficient. Basically, either take a shot 5 feet within the basket or a three-pointer, no mid-ranges. And what he believes in is it's called either the half second or the 1.5 second offense. You have either a half second or 1.5 seconds to make a decision. I'm pretty sure it's called the half second offense. And every time you touch the ball, you got 3 choices. You're either shooting, immediately passing it, or you're dribbling to attack the basket or kick it out space. That's what they want, okay? And he's going to also emphasize transition offense and getting guys out. He's a good guy developing guys like Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. So let's just talk about the rest of the roster. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Who are you most excited to see and why? I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Because for me, as a guy who is a fan of what the Pistons are building, I'm not necessarily a Detroit basketball fan because I'll admit I got my own allegiance. But with that being said, I do think it brings up a great point of, all right, how can this team improve on the roster that they currently have, okay? Because they have a pretty decent roster, one would say, at the current, I think it's good. I mean, they might have a logjam at the front in the terms of the bigs they have, but they need some wing players. I think that's the most evident out of anything is that, yes, they need wing guys more than they need anything else. So for me, when I look at this situation, I think, okay, what do they need to improve on? Let's get right into it. Sorry for wasting 2 minutes of the video. Obviously, the first thing that they need to address is, of course, the defense. Yes, and the wings, okay? So let's get right into it and let's talk about what positions we could see the team address. Alrighty, so right here, when we look at the Detroit Pistons, they have their guards, Killian Hayes, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. All right, that is a deep backcourt. Now, like I said, they have a lot of centers. James Wiseman, Marvin Bagley, Beef Stew, Jalen Duren, just to mention a few. That Monty Williams is going to have his hands full figuring out what this rotation is going to be. And I do expect at some point guys to be traded because, whoever they draft, whoever they go out and get in free agency, it's going to affect, who's going to get minutes. And some guys might get played out the rotation. So for me, when I look at the current situation, I think you need to go out and figure out who's the core 9 guys, who's the core 10 guys you're going to be playing, and then maybe get some veterans to fill out the rest of the roster because your only wings are Al Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic, okay? Those are your wings right now. So that's why I think Cam Whitmore or Amin Thompson or Asar Thompson wouldn't shock me. Al Burks has a team option. That's getting picked up. Hamidou Diallo's on his way out. Corey Joseph, love him, but he's probably gone. Isaiah Livers' team option getting picked up. He's a wing, but more of a power forward. Ronnie McGruger's gone. Eugene is going to come back. I don't know about Buddy Boeheim, but Jared Roden is also a restricted free agent. And this is a team that we only saw Cade Cunningham play 12 games, and Detroit was forced to use 29 different starting lineups, focused on developing their young players, primarily Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. And we're starting to, we need to figure out what is going to be the sustainable roster. And this offseason, they have a lot of flexibility. They're going into the offseason with a minimum of $30 million. That's including already the lottery pick in that. And they could go up to $40 million if they decline Al Burks. And in Troy Weaver's first offseason, he signed Jeremy Grant and Mason Plumlee and then traded those guys up. And then he also signed Trey Lyles and Kelly Olynyk, Hamidou Diallo, Frank Jackson, Corey Joseph. And then this past year, they used $20 million to acquire Al Burks and Nerlens Noel. So I expect more deals kind of like that. And look, they have Stewart, Marvin Bagley, and Wiseman. Somebody's going to become, expendable. And then Killian Hayes and Bojan Bogdanovic, will they be on the roster? That's a big question. And Wiseman had a 2-month option, audition, and he had 8 double-doubles, averaged 12.8 points, 7.9 rebounds. So unless Detroit and Wiseman agree to a team-friendly deal, I expect him to go out and they'll re-sign him as a restricted free agent. Kelly Hayes, Beef Stew, Isaiah Livers, and Al Burks all can get extension. The team needs a backup point guard. Okay, if they can go out and somehow get Tyus Jones, that's what I would do. Okay, and look, the Pistons do owe New York a first that has protections in the next 4 drafts, and every year the protections, become smaller and smaller until it conveys into, I believe, just a pick. But when I look at this team, they need veteran players, backup point guard, like a true veteran backup point guard, and a DeLon Wright, a Tyus Jones would be good, Monte Morris, all guys that I think they should go out and try to get. I mean, Trey Jones will be a free agent. That's Tyus Jones' younger brother. Another guy that I think could be good. And then in free agency, I think just bringing in vets who fit the identity of this team, athleticism, length, some shooting. No more bigs. No more bigs, okay? That's serious. No more bigs. There's no need for them. And, yeah, when I look at this team, I definitely think there's room for it to improve in terms of I think they need to fill out the wing, figure out who you're drafting, and either just go get a bunch of three-point shooting wings. Get Yuta Watanabe, okay? He's a free agent. You got a lot of guys out there who can come in and sign with this team, and they have money, so they can go out and offer KJ Martin a deal if they wanted to. Like, they're not stuck with the players that they have. So for me, I think, the NBA free agency will treat them very well because they'll be able to go out and get guys that might not be minimum guys, but they won't be the most expensive, and they can offer those guys probably the most money. Because if you look at it, okay, if they wanted to, they could go out and get Kyle Kuzma, probably. But I don't know if that's you want to go there. But if they wanted to, they could be in the running for Cam Johnson and Austin Reeves, all right? They could be in the running to get themselves Gary Trent Jr., a guy that I think would help them. Harrison Barnes, another guy that could help them. Bruce Brown, for crying out loud, all right? Josh Hart, they could pay these guys if they feel like they're ready to take that jump. And I think maybe they are. Maybe they are ready. I don't think they should go for Christian Wood, but I don't think they should go for any bigs, to be honest. If they get a big, I'll freaking cry. Maybe even bring Dylan Brooks back to, shore up the defense and help him rebuild his value. PJ Washington, Dante DiVincenzo. I think these are all the type of veteran guys they need to bring in to help instill the culture and to take that next jump.
Sorry this was convoluted. I recorded it at work, but I do think that the Pistons, Jarris Walker, Cam Whitmore, Amen Thompson, they're going to have a good year. I really believe in Monty Williams. What are your thoughts?